Okay, everybody, it's 8 o'clock Tuesday night, here October the 11th, 2022. And that means that it is time for our client community call. And if you're not muted, if you could, just go ahead and check your computer or your phone, make sure you are in a mute mode right now. Everybody, just go ahead and go over to mute. And my name is Frank Davis. I'm an independent Optavia certified coach. And I've been coaching for about 3-4 years, something like that. I started off just like many of you, a client. And my wife, my amazing and beautiful wife, Shauna, who was my coach. And she lost 87 pounds and stepped into coaching about 2 to 3 weeks into her health journey. So she did not wait until she got to the end. She saw this amazing gift of health, and I was her very first client. So I lived with my coach, and tonight's topic is about why the weekly check-in call is so important. And truth be told, I had like a daily check-in call, right? I mean, living with your coach, I'm always checking in, right? But it was a great experience. I ultimately lost 60 pounds, and that was about 3 years ago. And then ultimately I stepped into coaching, and then Shauna and I team coach. But rather than hearing from me tonight, I want you to hear from some clients just like you. These are clients, these are not coaches, and every one of them that are speaking tonight will be a client. So welcome. If you're a client, number one, I want to congratulate you for making a great decision for yourself, for your future, for your health, for your family, for your friends, for your community. Not only by taking care of yourself, by setting the example for all those in your world. Health is too important to ignore. And congratulations for making a great decision, whether you're just getting started or whether you're in your weight loss mode or whether you're in transition or maintenance, wherever you happen to be. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for being on tonight. So the first person I want to introduce is a client who's on program. And just if you could, come off mute. Tell us a little bit about who you are, maybe what you do for a living, how long you've been on program, how much weight you lost. And again, with the theme of the topic tonight, why is the client community call so important? How has it helped you? So the very first speaker I'm going to introduce tonight is Bobby. Bobby, if you could come off mute and share for a few minutes.
Sure. So my name's Bobby. I'm from Gainesville, Georgia. I've been on the program about 6 weeks. My wife actually started speaking with Shauna a little bit before I did, and convinced me to start the program with her. We decided probably a little bit easier if we both did it. So I've been on the program about 6 weeks, and I've lost 20 pounds already.
Okay. Are you still there, Bobby?
Check-in calls is number one. It's always great. Shauna's great to give us encouragement. And to make sure that we're staying on track. It's a good accountability thing, because I know a lot of times, you can always talk yourself into, not worrying about it, or I didn't lose any this week, or I kind of slipped up a little bit. But with Shauna there, it's always good to know that, she's going to hold us accountable. And then just the encouragement that we get, she's a really good support system. One of the things we talked about last week was we like to go on short weekend trips a lot, and we didn't ever really think about it, but we always planned where we were going to eat. So, you make your trips about going and eating, and she's really helped us to kind of refocus. And, something we talked about last week was, making it more about what are the little side trips and stuff that we can do, or the things that we can visit while we're there, so that we kind of take the focus off. And I think the phrase that she used, focus more on eating to live instead of living to eat. So that's one of the things that's really stuck with us last week.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing, Bobby, and congratulations on your weight loss so far. And what I heard you saying is that for you and your wife, who are both on program, is that you find that this weekly check-in call is a source of encouragement, and people that can continue to motivate you and encourage you, and you have a sense of accountability. So you're not only accountable to yourself, but you're accountable to your wife probably, and you're accountable to your coach.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then you found that Shauna was a support system. And
Absolutely.
I love that you're now you're not, so much as eating to live, you're living to eat. And that's an awesome statement. So thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, the next client I want to bring up, again, a little bit about, where you live, your occupation, how long you've been on program, how much weight you lost, and why is the weekly coach client check-in call important for you? How has it helped? So the next person I want to introduce is Kathy Davis. No relationship to me, even though we have the same last name. So come off mute, Kathy, and share a little bit.
Hi, I'm Kathy Davis. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I am a lease analyst for a real estate developer. I've been on and off program for about 1.5 years. I originally lost about 50 pounds, and I've gained a little bit of it back, about 10 pounds back. And but I have the best coach. Her name is Lori Cole. She was my jazzercise instructor, and now she's my sweet friend and the best coach for me ever. God put her right squarely in my path because she always knows the right thing to say. I've been on lots and lots of weight loss programs over the years, and I've never been a part of a program where I had a lifeline to an individual to talk to, B, someone to answer questions any hour of the day or night. Lori and I are both very early morning ladies, and so we do a lot of texting before 6 or before 7 a.m. sometimes. She is my biggest cheerleader, even and we have a weekly call noon on Fridays. So even when I'm sort of dreading the call, not dreading, but apprehensive because I might not have had a great week, or I'm just feeling down or one thing or another, Lori always makes me feel better. I'm always very glad that we touched base, because if I've had a bad week or what I perceive as a bad week, she helps me figure out ways to make the next week better or tweak things to make the next week better. If I've had a good week, she is the biggest cheerleader for me. So even our bad calls, or what I would maybe term a bad call, end up being a really great call, because I get off the phone feeling really good and encouraged, and like I know I can do this another week. And I truly believe that the weekly call is the reason that I'm still hanging in there. I made myself a promise when I started that the very first sign of Optavia that I had was a meme that Lori posted on her Facebook that said, if you're tired of quitting, if you're tired of starting over, stop quitting. So I made myself a promise this time that I wouldn't quit. And the weekly calls just reinforce that every time I talk to her.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Kathy. And yeah, we know Lori as well. Shauna and I have known Lori for about 20-25 years, and she is absolutely a rock star of a coach.
Yes, she
And
is.
yeah. And I love what you said, how you initially she was your jazzercise instructor.
Right.
And then you kind of went from there to coach, kind of developed that coach relationship. And then you went into a friendship relationship.
Yes.
And now you use the term that you're best friends. I love that.
She's a sweet friend. I just love her to pieces.
Good deal. Good deal. Something else that Kathy mentioned, I hope you picked up on this. She referred to Lori as her lifeline, right? A lifeline. That's a pretty powerful statement. Then she said that Lori was her biggest cheerleader. And, cheerleaders, and I know Lori because I've known Lori for 20-25 years. Lori used to be a cheerleader. So she knows how to be a cheerleader. But it's more than just dressing up in the cheerleader outfit and waving the pom-poms. It's being that encourager and always being positive no matter what. So as a cheerleader, sometimes your team is down. Sometimes they're not scoring touchdowns, and sometimes your client's not doing so well, but you're positive, you're encouraging and uplifting. And Kathy, you said that after the phone call, the Lori always makes you feel better. And it's been a large part of the reason why you're still hanging in there.
It is the number one reason why I'm still hanging in here.
Number one reason. Awesome.
Yes,
Well, thank you again so much for sharing, Kathy.
sure.
We're going to hear from another client. But people always ask us, is it required that I have the weekly check-in calls? Absolutely not. Being a client is certainly a volunteer basis. Having those weekly check-in calls is certainly not required. But we know statistically, there are studies out there that show that clients that check in with their coach on a weekly basis, not just check in, but have a telephone call with their coach on a weekly basis, are far more likely to be successful in their health journey. Now, we know sometimes life gets in the way. Sometimes you have to reduce your check-in to a text. And sometimes things happen at the last minute, family emergencies, sickness, work obligations. We know that's the case. But whenever possible, a weekly telephone check-in call with your coach is the desired event. All right, now I want to bring up the next client. And again, when you come off mute, tell us a little bit about where you live, a little bit about you, your occupation, how long you've been on program, how much weight you have lost, who your coach is, and what are you getting out of this program with the weekly check-in calls? How has that helped you? How has that benefited you? So Angela, come off mute, please.
Okay, I'm off mute. Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, my name is Angela Lee, and I live in Dallas, Texas. I'm an instructional designer. I started on this Octavia journey on May 29th, 2022, just probably four and a half months, I'm guessing. And my coach is Kelly McCullough. And I look forward to speaking to her weekly. And I feel that those weekly check-ins just weekly is mainly the main reason why I'm still on this program, because I look forward to the calls each week, because like I'm piggybacking off of Bobby as well as Kathy, it's motivating. It keeps me motivated by speaking with my coach every week, and also sharing with other people when I'm talking about the program, and then letting them know I have a weekly call with my coach every week to discuss, just discuss anything I wanted to talk about. And I like it because, like I stated, it keeps me motivated, having that one-on-one conversation with my coach, and also look forward to discussing my progress, any roadblocks or hurdles that I might be running into, and just listening, being able to listen to her, provide tips on ways that I can overcome, make some adjustments to certain foods that I might be eating. And then she's also like an advocate, support person. She can answer questions for me, and any questions or concerns that I might have. And I just enjoy, sharing updates with her as well. And last thing I would say, just accountability, because I know each week she's going to call. So I know I need to read that book, because she's going to ask me something about the element, so I need to be able to, give her an update. So that helps me, because I know we're going to have that call every Friday morning, 8:30. So I make sure I read, and I make sure I do what I'm supposed to do so I can give her a good update. I really do enjoy working with my coach, Kelly McCullough.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Angela, what I heard you say is that Kelly keeps you motivated. And, because of that, you feel an obligation to check in with her all the time. And then you said that she makes you feel better, and that, you're sharing with other people. So tell me a little bit about that. When you say that you're talking with other people and you say you have a coach, why is that coming up in conversation?
Because sometimes, excuse me, sometimes people may question when you're on these different weight loss programs. And I just think that letting people know that I am working with a coach, as somebody that's helping me, keeping me on track, and, letting me know, because like I said, sometimes people may have negative feelings toward different weight loss programs, and just letting them know that you're working with a coach, somebody that's experienced and know what you're doing, and standing behind what you're doing, that just makes me feel better, and more confident in this program just by having that coach.
Yeah, 100%. And
Mhm.
something else you mentioned, Angela, you said that Kelly, during your weekly check-in calls, you're able to discuss roadblocks and hurdles, and she's able to give you some tips. And have you found that she knows everything about the program?
Yes, she knows everything, and she knows even like the elements. I can mention, I can't think of anything right, but I can just mention something, and she said, "Oh, you want to go and read this element?" She just come out real quick and say, "Well, just go read this element." She'll tell me a little bit about it, but she said, "Read this, and this will get you past that, that hurdle." And I like that because she's real knowledgeable on the elements. Yeah.
Okay, so she's able to point you in the right direction.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you certainly have a great coach there with Kelly. And
Yes.
I really appreciate you sharing, Angela, and congratulations on your weight loss.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you to all those clients. And now it's about 8:17. There's over 100 people on this call tonight. And because of that, I wanted to have some opportunity for some questions and answers on this call. We have most of you on this call tonight are clients, and this call is for you. So if you have any question, you can go to the bottom of your screen down there and you can raise your yellow hand. There's a yellow hand where you can raise it, or you just come off mute and either I or one of the other coaches will be happy to answer that question. Or if you have a question for a specific client that spoke tonight, whether that's Bobby or Kathy or Angela, if you heard something in their story, I'm sure they wouldn't mind answering your question if they can. So let's open it up for questions. Anybody have any questions? And if I don't see your yellow hand, if you're raising your yellow hand, I don't see, I'm kind of going to go from, there's over 100 people on here. If I don't see your yellow hand, come off mute and just ask a question. And it can be any question. It doesn't have to be about the weekly coach check-in call. Don't be shy.
Hey, Frank, this is Lori. I just wanted to say that I hit my weight loss goal almost 7 years ago. And one of the things there are two things why I think that I'm still holding on right there at my weight loss goal. And the first thing is I still touch base with my coach twice a month. I'm not on a 5 and 1. I'm on a 3 and 3, 4 and 2, depending on where I am in my life. But I still touch base with my coach, and that's important to me because of our relationship and her accountability. The other reason, the thing I think is really super important is to think about helping someone in your world. And that has held me so accountable. So this is a lifelong transformation. This is not a diet or, we lose weight, but we learn so much. It's like a course in personal development. And then also you get to lose weight as a result. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I've been a coach almost 7 years, and just some secrets to my success there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lori, for sharing that. And a lot of people come to us as coaches for weight loss. And then once they come to us, they find out that this program is much more than weight loss. Certainly, we want to help people with weight loss. But as a result of that weight loss, many times people will see their conditions improve, conditions like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, their cholesterol levels, they sleep better, even things like reducing the stress in their life, reducing pain or inflammation in their joints, healthy relationships at home, better mindsets, maybe dealing with some mindsets around food, emotional eating, stress eating, eating out of boredom, eating out of habit, and more, and even healthy finances. So when your body is healthy and your mind is healthy, and even your financial world is healthy, you're going to be healthier as a person. So doing those weekly check-in calls, really, like one client says tonight, really becomes a lifeline. It's getting healthy not only in your body, but in all areas of your life. And hopefully throughout the week, throughout the month, you're diving into those other areas. So thank you for pointing that out, Lori. It is a lifelong transformation. It's holistic in nature, comprehensive, and medically backed. So thank you for pointing that out. Any questions or any comments?
I have a comment.
Go ahead. Is it Jantel?
Yes,
Go
I
ahead,
just-
Jantel.
I just wanted to say, anybody that may be on this call that's thinking about going on this journey with us, I've only been on it about 3 weeks, but and I had been on it years ago when it was MetaFast, but this time I see something totally different. My coaches, Darla Rowe and Lauren, and also, and just today when we were talking, following up for my 1 week, they talked about the book, Health and, I don't have it with me. See, I'm so new, I don't even know what to call it, but the one that we, recommend that we read 5 minutes a day. And I started reading it, couldn't put it down because of the difference that when I joined to just for the weight loss. But this community, this call on Tuesday and then the coaching call afterward is so important. And if anybody I've had weight loss surgery, I've tried every diet under the sun. I'm a professional dieter, but I don't look at this as a diet. I look at this as a journey that's going to help me with my health. And I look forward to just seeing what it's going to do for me, because I've seen what it's done for all of y'all. I've been on the Facebook page and I've shared a lot of your posts. And I just want to say thank you for letting me join. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Jantel. And, she brought up a point here that we haven't really discussed much tonight, and that is the educational system of our program. And that includes your life book and your Habits of Health book. So if you are in your life book, if you're a client and or a coach, and then you're in your life book, put a 1 in the chat for me if you don't mind. And look at all those ones. I mean, it's going by so fast, I can't even keep up. So the educational system is very, very important. But I see another yellow hand up. Debbie, you got your hand raised? Come off mute.
Hey, Frank, thanks for leading us tonight. I just wanted to give a little comment. I am a coach and a client. I have had weight loss, and I love the life books, and I mean, our life book and our Habits of Health book. I will say I am a coach, and I am not the kind of coach that can say, go look at element 23. Like, I just don't retain that kind of information. So but I still walk through that with my clients. So if anybody's thinking, oh, I could never learn that in that way, to support a client. When I started program, I actually started as a client and a coach on the same day. So I really was learning our program as I went along. So I just would encourage anybody who thinks that they don't know enough to be a coach, that's 100% not true. I'm so grateful for my own coach who mentored me along and is still mentoring me along. And, our program is so good that we just have to know a little bit more than our clients. So I just wanted to offer that.
Thank you, Debbie. That's a good point. And, immediately following this call tonight, we're going to have another Zoom that I'm going to be hosting, and it's called Sneak Peek into Coaching. And really, it's a little deeper dive into what coaching is all about, and what's it take to be a coach, and why are so many people excited about coaching. But Debbie points out something very important here, is a lot of people will ask us, well, do I need to know everything about being a coach? I've been coaching 3 years. And the other day I was doing what we call a client check-in call, like we're talking about. And my client, it was a fairly new client, asked me how many proteins or carbs or something like that was in the lean and green meal. You know what my answer was?
I don't know.
I don't know. And I don't know. Okay. I don't know. And truth be honest, I don't care. I really don't care. So I don't know all the information. I just throw the meat on the scale, the digital scale of the kitchen, and I throw the vegetables in the measuring cup. Boom, I'm done. I don't care how many carbs or protein or whatever's in that stuff. I don't know hardly anything. But what I do know as a coach, I know how to point them in the right direction, and point them to the community page, and point them to the life book. Now, I applaud you coaches that got that memory, and I applaud you coaches that know all that stuff. And Kelly, part of the reason she knows that stuff, her background, I know Kelly, She's a clinical dietitian or something like that, nutritionist or something, right? So she knows that stuff. Me, I'm just a regular Joe.
Mm,
Okay, so that's a great point, Debbie. I appreciate you sharing that.
I love
And
that, Frank. Thank you.
there's an old saying, if you've been on the 5 and 1 day, you can be a coach because you're 1 day ahead of whoever you are coaching. And my wife stepped into coaching 2 weeks after she started her program. Great point. Any other questions or comments? We got about 4 minutes left. Come off mute.
I was going to share, Frank. One of the things that I like about checking in with my coach is I can't hide. I think it's easy to hide and not be completely open and honest when you don't check in, and it's easier to let the BLTs increase, the bites, licks, and tastes, or the additional wine or alcohol or whatever. Because I know for me, sugar can be that thing that can take me where I can lose control. And what I love about the fact of having a coach is that I can be open and honest with her and let her know exactly where I am. And I know that when I decided to join on this journey, and I've been on the journey for almost 2.5 years now, and coaching almost 2 years, that I still need help. I still need my coach. So there'll never be a point, I don't think, if you're really looking towards life, a lifestyle change and a journey, where I feel like I've gotten it. For me, it really is the additional security and the accountability that if I know that someone, when they're about to call me, or usually I'm calling my coach, I know that I have to be able to share something, and so for me, it's just a way to not be able to hide, because it's too easy to hide when you're not checking in. And it's not even, I don't even like to say check-in. I mean, it is, we say check-in, but it is, someone said earlier, it's just being able to have a conversation and build that trust and get to know each other. And that's how I want it to be. And that's how it is with my coach, and how I want it to be with my clients.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And sadly, sometimes there's clients that come along that do try to hide. Maybe they do well on program initially and they lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, and they feel good. And then, because they feel so good and the clothes start getting loose, then they get relaxed in their eating program. And then they get relaxed in those check-in calls. They get relaxed in not, reading in their life book, and they get relaxed in not showing up on the community and the private community page. And, or maybe they're embarrassed or ashamed because now they had that glass of wine, or they had that birthday cake, or they had 2 or 3 donuts, and they don't want to tell their coach that. But all the coaches I know, our philosophy is there's no reason to be ashamed. There's no reason to have that shame, and there's no reason to hide, because you know why? As coaches, probably most coaches have been clients, and we're human too. We've been through the things that you've been through. We've had that donut. We've had that glass of wine. We've had that candy when we shouldn't have, right? So we know what those struggles are, and we also know how to overcome them. We know we're not perfect. I lost my weight 3 years ago. I'm still not perfect today. I'm always contending for my health. But because of that, we have such a heart and a passion for people. We know what works. We know we can get you, like a client said tonight, get you over those hurdles and get you through those roadblocks. Great point, Lucy. Thank you for sharing that. We got about 1 more minute. Any final thoughts? Any last questions?
Well, if nobody's got anything to say, I just want to congratulate the 24 that put their numbers in there of what they've lost. You guys have lost a total of a male polar bear, which is the largest species of bear on land, or 2 female polar bears. So I looked that little fun fact up, and I thought you guys might enjoy that. Congratulations.
I love it. I love it. A male polar bear. All right. And I believe Silas, if you weren't here in the very beginning of the call, Silas, who lost 150 pounds, lost a baby polar bear all by himself. I don't know what a baby polar bear weighs when they're born coming out of mama. I bet it's 150 pounds. I'm gonna look it up. Or so Silas, look it up when you get off this call or off the, sometime the next day or two. All right. All right. Well, it's 8:30. We're out of time. I hope we had fun tonight. I hope you stick around. We're going to stop the recording here and we're going to do a sneak peek into coaching, just a little deeper dive into what coaches are. How come we have so much fun? So stick around, tune in, and we're going to take about a 10-second pause and we're going to start that call.